Welcome to Remelations. We're your hosts. I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke.
Remelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams. From nightmares to the just plain bizarre, join us as we give you our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REMs.
This week I'm reading a dream about a divine presence, healing powers, and pink penguins.
Oh, they're so cute. We also have catnaps that have to do with nuclear blast, Panda Express orange chicken, and extraterrestrial lovers.
Ooh.
And stay tuned because I am talking about the history of the waterbed. Ooh, sexy time in the waterbed. Sexy time all around. All right, bestie, let's get started.
Woo! Hi.
Well, you look super cute in your glasses today.
I look smart. Maybe.
You look extremely smart.
SMRT.
You smarty pants.
Thank you. How's it going?
Good.
Hi.
Always an awkward start. Hello. Hi. Yo, what's up?
Hi. Just kidding. Just joshing you.
It's so weird because it's still light out. We normally don't record this early, so it's throwing me a little off. It's like mid-afternoon.
It is mid-afternoon. It doesn't really feel the same.
It might get a little crazy.
This might become crazy.
You put us out of our normal element, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you back an animal against the wall. You don't know what's going to happen. You back them into a corner.
It's another fun day. Here we go. Let's get started.
Here we go.
You got a dream for us?
I do, and I do apologize. I'm assuming her name is Prachi, but I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that ahead of time. But she is from Calgary.
Okay, Canada friend.
Yeah. I had a very strange dream last night where I was visiting my parents. We were in a huge house. It was time for bed, but my daughter didn't want to sleep. I was taking her to bed and heard something, or felt something, so I climbed another flight of stairs to the second floor where no one was sleeping. In the dream, It felt like I didn't even know that floor had existed before.
Oh, it's like you live in a place your whole life and there's secret passageways. Like, that's kind of cool.
Secret passage. Oh, yeah. Let me show my daughter this fun place I never got to play in.
It's the attic wing.
It's the attic wing. Sorry, we were not allowed access to it as children.
All the valuables are in there. No children allowed.
No children allowed. I immediately felt a flurry of activity as I switched on the light. And I can't express why or how, but I knew there was something divine. And I found myself kneeling down in my dream as if bowing my head to whatever there was. And then, suddenly, in front of me, I see these African painted faces that had camouflage, but they all come out and let me see them. I know. There's a lot going on.
I might be a little freaked out at this point, but she seems okay with it.
And I feel like the whole time she seems very calm. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff happening. But she's very calm.
People in your home.
Yeah, like just jumping on camouflage. Yeah, and I mean, she's from Calgary. I can't imagine there's too many African tribes in Canada.
Right? I would be, get out of my house.
Like,
maybe they're for good.
Yeah, I think maybe because she says they were taking care of the animals living on the second floor. Oh. All right. So that's good.
So the animals are on the second floor. It's like their living quarters to take care of the animals.
Which, by the way, let me tell you, include.
Oh, I'd love to know.
I know. Yes.
Please, what kind of zoo do we got?
Pink penguins. That's what kind. Pink.
Just penguins. Pink penguins?
Pink, and it says, and other animals. I can't remember. But
if you saw pink penguins, what else is there to mention?
I'd be like, I don't know, there could have been a cow in there. I'd been like, there was a cow? What? I saw the
Brooke's like, penguins. I'll take all the pink penguins. Thank you.
I'll take them and good night.
Oh my God. That would be very cute.
I think they are adorable in my head, and you're right. I do want to.
But
take them with me.
also, the scene was a little out of place. Just a little.
Yeah, especially in an attic. Or a house in general. I don't think penguins thrive in a domestic.
I don't think it's the right habitat.
It's not like you're going to take your penguin for a walk in a little doggy stroller.
He's already got his tux on.
He's fancy. Fancy as always.
Fancy.
Okay, so then I asked them to help my dad, but without actually saying anything. Sort of a mind link. So my parents come up to this level, and then they healed the left shoulder for my dad by some energetic field that could be seen as golden dust on his shoulder. So
okay, they can stay at my house. My mind has been changed.
Heal me,
stay as long
feed
as you
my
want.
pets. Do you do laundry? I'm just curious.
Right. There's only one caveat. You need to do the laundry and put it away.
Yeah. Sorry. That's the only thing.
And walk the penguins. Please.
Oh, you gotta walk the penguins. Gotta get them their little exercise. Get those little feet, those happy feet going.
It would take a very long time.
Yeah. You go about 10 feet and back, and they sleep the rest of the day.
Yeah.
They're wiped
Too
out.
much.
But I find it interesting because the next thing she says, which is kind of what we were talking about earlier, she made a statement, I wasn't afraid. And like we both said, I would be, especially like all of a sudden I'm seeing this African tribe, pink penguins. I have telepathy now. My dad is being healed with gold dust. But you know
sounds
what?
like an average day in Calgary.
It sounds like that's what they do up there. Later, Dad and myself spoke to an elder who said to drink Chantham tea. And she wrote, not even sure there is a drink with that name. But in my dream, I went looking for it. And then I woke up. Wow, Prachi.
Interesting.
I
wonder what the tea is for.
The tea got
the other
me.
shoulder?
And that's the other shoulder. You got gold dust for your left shoulder, and you need the Chantham.
And it's always the tea on
on the right. That old saying, always put the tea on the right shoulder. that old
a little
chestnut.
angel, a little devil, a little gold, a little tea.
A little gold, a little yeah. And it seemed like it kind of confused her in the dream too. But thank you for sharing that. I mean, there's kind of a lot going on.
Interesting. A lot of weird things in it.
Weird things, right? Like it starts out like kind of normal. She's in a familiar place, comfort, safety of her parents' house. But then there's a disturbance. We don't really realize what the disturbance is, good or bad.
Right.
We just know her daughter can't sleep and she's hearing things. So she's gone from this place of familiarity now to like uncertainty. So
this floor that we don't know what's going on.
The weird
this
floor that just appeared. So maybe
you have to have a magic key to get up that elevator.
Magic key and a magic map.
A Marauder's map.
There you go. I don't know what that is. Is that Harry Potter?
Harry Potter reference.
I figured. I can put things in context.
She's like, I'll just let it go.
Be like, and then. But maybe she was once in a comfortable situation and now maybe finds herself lost, maybe job, relationship, maybe even like a crisis of faith. Because the next part is that divine presence.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really beautiful, which she didn't even know what it was, but it just dropped her to her knees and she just is kind of awash with calm. Yeah. First, I wanted to talk about a little bit about that divine presence. So I'm wondering with what's going on, if she is maybe made a really big decision or completed something in her life and now feels like this huge weight has been lifted and it's maybe coming about as that. But, divine presence can mean just about anything you can imagine. So as always, it's always up to the dreamer. But it could mean a feeling of being loved and welcomed. And it can also be interpreted as a warning dream or judgment. But in this case, I think the love and acceptance part at least feels the direction that it's going, that it went. Like, I don't feel like she was feeling judged or anything. I feel like it's a good sign.
Right. Yeah. And always the emotions that you mentioned in a dream, what you're feeling is so important. So for her, it wasn't feeling scared. It wasn't feeling out of place. It was feeling very calm. And I think whatever we're feeling in dreams emotionally is what we need to take away from there. So for her, I see that as a really good sign. I
think it's a good sign too.
And it's like you said, it's in a familiar place. And that's always calming.
It is. Now, when the African tribe comes out, it is alarming, as we both agreed.
It could go either. You're like, oh gosh, how's this going to go?
Like, oh no, what is happening? But then it actually turns into another source of comfort and healing for her. There's a lot of the same thing going on. So dreaming of African tribes can be a sign to return to your roots. It can also mean that you'll meet unknown people who might give you new direction in your life, which also kind of seems to be following the same line of the rest of her dream. But most importantly, what I took from them is that she isn't alone. They kind of came out of camouflage, showed themselves to her. So maybe she has found a good support system in her life now, and she's just kind of, everything's just starting to fall into place for her. She's still a little confused, but I think things are moving in the right direction.
Okay, but I gotta stop on what's up with the penguins? Like,
okay, wow,
pink.
I knew you wanted. I knew you would want to talk about pink, which is my favorite color. But it is a nostalgic color. It kind of takes you back to your childhood, because basically what pink does, it takes all the passion and energy of red, and then tempers it with the purity of white. Leaving us with the color of just tenderness, joy, and affection. So again, happiness plays into the whole idea that maybe she felt lost and alone recently, but it seems like love is coming her way in many different ways. Penguins.
Wait, it's been a while since we've had an animal fact from Brooke. So Brooke, is there something you can tell us about penguins?
Penguins do mate for life, which I think is very sweet.
It is.
So it also falls into the line of maybe love is coming her way. Also, there are a couple other things about penguins.
Okay. They're cute. They like to have fun.
They're cute, and they like to dance. Happy feet.
Have you ever seen Happy Feet?
Oh my God, you know all about them then. Penguins in your dream can also let you know that it's always most chaotic just before a big breakthrough happens. So I think, again, interesting.
Now, here's the thing I think is interesting. We have this home in Calgary. We have an African tribe, and we have penguins from all different parts of the world are all coming together.
Yes.
In this.
Yes.
So it's very hodgepodge of locations. Like, why
people,
those things
and
in
items?
One space?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Where do penguins mostly live?
They live all over the world, actually, and there's different types.
Okay.
I mean, you can find South African pigeons. Not pigeons. Sorry.
Pigeons. South African pigeons, man.
They're all over the world.
They love taking those messages. They're all over the world.
Let's just leave it at that.
We just need a carrier penguin.
We need carrier penguins. God damn it, penguins can't fly.
That's hard to say.
It's another fact for you, a flightless bird. Another flightless bird.
Okay,
if you want another fun penguin fact.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But alternatively, penguin symbolism is basically, which I never knew, you can adapt to any situation at any time. And it seems like that's what she's kind of starting to realize. She's getting that confidence. Just keep it flexible and remain centered within yourself, moving forward. And here's what I thought was crazy because of the divine element from before. The whole penguin thing says, therefore, you must believe that you have a good connection between the physical and the spiritual, and that you will naturally know what to do next, which I think is very interesting.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like such random symbols,
right?
But
when you kind of pull them all together, it does make sense.
They're kind of like,
they mesh.
I don't know, fitting. They're kind of all on the same path. I guess there's just two other little things I'd like to talk about. The dad's shoulder and the telekinesis, that mind link, as she said. I mean, thinking like, what does that symbolize? Does she not even need to ask for help anymore? Is everyone like around her now they now know what she needs and how to love and support her. I don't know.
What's her love language? We want to know.
We do. Let us know. We need to know a lot of
stuff. Is it
penguins?
Is it gifts? It's gifts. I know. It's penguins and gold dust.
Well, let's talk about the gold dust.
I missed that. I missed that chapter, but go ahead.
You missed that chapter. There's actually 5 more love languages.
Love languages.
Gold dust. Yeah, I guess that's the second book that we didn't read.
Yeah, that's revision 2. Yeah.
The gold dust.
The sequel.
This part, I think, also blew my mind because I looked up what meaning of gold dust could be. And it says, gold dust is an indication for repression of your personal and physical desires. You need to give appreciation to those who have helped you along the way. Your dream is an indication for the importance of loyalty and duty to your family. I mean, she had her dad's shoulder fixed. That makes sense.
Right.
I mean, and all these new people in her life. And it's saying you are reflecting on some important life decision that needs to be made. It is interesting. It brings about the family and what gold dust means and basically giving appreciation. And it seems like there's so many people coming up in this dream that I think she is. She's really not taking it for granted.
If I think of gold, it's also it's a value, right? So it's what she's valuing. And so is it this new found support system? Is it her family? Is it familiarity? Yet throughout history, gold has always been known to tie to money and value. So what is it in this dream she's realizing has more value than perhaps she realized? Yeah.
I agree. The last part, which I think we both had questions about, was this tea. The tea. What do you do with the goddamn tea? At least to me. I mean, I think you're either a tea drinker or you're not. Tea is comforting and healing. Like even when I have an upset stomach, I will drink like a peppermint tea to settle it. And she's being told to look to her elders for advice and comfort. Tea can also be a symbol addressed in spiritual enlightenment. And it usually has a strong connection to the spiritual world. It also indicates social pleasures are going to come into fruition in the near future. It pretty much tracks with the rest of the dream.
Right. All positive.
Prachi, thank you so much. I just feel like it's so interesting because, like we said, it seems just like a random mishmash of different things and items.
But when you look at them all separately, it does kind of come together.
The same meaning. They're just kind of underlying messages, which just goes to show your brain does work in mysterious ways.
Always does.
It
very
does.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you very much.
And if you have a dream to share, you can email us at remelations@gmail.com. Send us your dream or dream stories. We want to hear them all.
Yes. Hey, catnaps.
Ready?
When are we going to get our theme song?
I don't know. I had to ask the boss upstairs.
Gotta ask the boss.
Our musical director, also known as my husband.
Right.
So I've got a catnap to start with, and this dream comes from Carson, and Carson's from Long Beach.
LBC!
Wow, that was really exciting.
I was really excited. Okay.
Just woke up. For some reason, ever since I was little, I almost never had good dreams when sleeping. It was always either a nightmare or just black nothingness. I'm in 12th grade now, and the amount of nightmares I'm having is increasing, and their intensity is too.
Ooh, the stress.
I know. I feel so bad.
Do you remember being a senior?
All bad dreams.
It's like, and then everything just gets
too much
hard.
Stress.
Yeah.
And then having nightmares when you sleep at night. No, teenagers don't. They have weird sleep schedules. I can attest to that.
I was going to say, you would know better than anyone.
You can sleep until 2 in the afternoon. You stay up till 1. It's all over the board.
It's kind of a dream world. Because it's like, nice. Also they can wake up and be recovered in no time. Like maybe they have a day where they only slept 2 hours and they're like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, good. Nope, I am off track for like 3 days.
Right. Well, Carson says, I do remember a good dream when I was in second grade, and it was of me swimming in a jello pool, and that was it. Nothing else has been good since then. That seems like a really fun dream, though. So we just gotta keep the jello pool dream alive.
Hasn't had a good dream from 2nd to 12th grade?
10 years? Yeah. I know. I feel so bad.
Oh,
well,
Carson.
This isn't a good one. Sorry to tell you.
Sorry, folks. This isn't good. No, but I get the jello. I mean, I think I obviously discussed my hydrotherapy on the podcast, and I feel like when I find that moment, I call it my jello moment because I feel like I'm the fruit in the middle of the jello when I just find that right position in my hydro tank.
Now, if you are swimming in jello, what flavor are you choosing?
Oh, man. I mean, it'd be really hard to swim in jello, so I feel like you'd have to eat quite a bit of it.
What if it's jello cubes, though? I mean, you can swim in jello cubes.
Cubes, okay.
Like wiggle.
Wiggle.
You remember those molds that you used to have? Wiggle. Like, wiggly jello.
Wiggle. Sorry.
If your jello don't wiggle.
Wiggle your way. No, I think this is what I think of when you go to like a Chinese buffet, you know, in that sweets area, they always have like either the red or orange cube jello.
It's in the cubes. Yep. Exactly.
That's where I'm coming from. I'll take either of those flavors. I don't know. Is it cherry? Strawberry is the red and orange. Those are the flavors. How about you?
I think I'd go with a lime. Yeah.
Wow, that came out of nowhere. I was not expecting
I'm not a huge jello fan.
But lime.
But I think it'd be refreshing on a hot day.
Yeah, we'll throw some vodka in there, make some J shots.
Now I'm in. All right. So before I read this dream from Carson, I do want to give a trigger warning for suicide. So if you don't want to hear this, go ahead and skip ahead about 5-10 minutes. All right. So let's get to Carson's dream here. She says, she hasn't had any good dreams. I just woke up and I vividly remember the nightmare. Me and my family were shopping at a mall when suddenly a nuclear warning alarm goes off. And yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Was this 1952?
Yeah, like, woo.
Get to the bunker. Get to the bunker.
Get under your desk.
That's a pretty good alarm. Good job.
Thank you. Duck and cover. That's going to save you.
That's going to save you from the radiation, sure. The alarm goes off and we scramble to the grocery store and get some stuff. But while we're getting to my car, my family just leaves me. Like, I don't know how much time you have when there's a nuclear attack. I don't think you have time to go to the store, first of all. Your family's a bunch of assholes for leaving you.
Yeah, and right? They're just like, oh, I guess we'll leave Carson behind. Sorry.
I got to
get us our case of water fast enough. Poor Carson standing outside with like a case of water, like looking for family members that have just abandoned the whole situation.
The station wagon just peels out of the parking lot.
Hey, I've got the water.
She goes on to say, there's a Cineplex next to the mall. And she goes, Cineplex is a movie theater.
Yep.
And I go inside thinking that there might be some good protection against the blast light. I then see the only girl I like in my school, and I hug her, and we try to get into the basement, waiting for the blast until it comes. Well, she found a friend. Good.
Oh, well, at least she found a friend since her family abandoned her. Jeez.
When it does come, the entire building disintegrates. I'm unharmed at first, but I see the person I like in my arms starting to melt right in front of me.
Oh, wow. That's
30
intense.
seconds later, I start seeing my own skin melt off me, and I see a gun lying in a holster on the floor next to a skeleton. So I grab it and shoot myself, and then I woke up.
Carson, that's intense.
It took me a good half an hour to just swallow the concept of what really happened.
Yeah. But I hope you ate a lot of candy
Carson.
and popcorn before your demise. Hopefully you went away in a blaze of movie theater nachos and candy.
Just all the cheese you can eat, Oh,
just
the
eating
Sour
nacho
Patch
cheese
Kids.
by the handfuls, not even with chips. Just dipping your fingers in.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
well-
Carson, that's a dream of helplessness. It really is. It's sad. It makes me
start
feel
to
sad.
finish. Start to
We
finish.
went from
it's
such a high
helplessness.
with the last dream to this, and I'm like, oh, my heart hurts.
Sorry, Carson.
Not all's lost, Carson. We'll be your friend.
We'll be your friend.
We'll be your friend. And if I can recommend one thing, when you're falling asleep, try to think of things you want to dream. And this works for me. If I am in a funk of dreams, in a string of nights, I will manifest before I fall asleep things I want to dream. I'm on a beach. I'm with my family. Well, maybe not Carson's family, but trying to swimming in a pool of jello by the ocean. Mm-hmm. So, maybe just try to manifest things before you fall asleep. Take your time and focus on the positive there, Carson. We're there for you.
Yes. Reach out anytime. Anytime. Well, if we want to lighten the mood a little bit, I have a couple just one-liners that I could read back to back just because they're hilarious. Just to lighten the mood a bit. This is Dan, and he's from Dover. I had a dream in which I spent a steamy evening with E.T. and he...
What?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I know, pause.
I don't know how you don't pause after that sentence because I'm like, wait.
I did. It's only a one-sentence dream. There's more to the sentence. I did pause.
Sorry. You may finish.
Okay. Let me just read the whole thing over because it's only one sentence.
Okay.
I had...
Let me just calm myself down here.
I know. It's getting hot and heavy in here. Woo-hoo. I had a dream in which I spent a steamy evening with E.T. And he pleasured me. And then I woke up.
Wow.
E.T. Romeo over there. Just
go home. Go all the way home.
E.T., come home.
Come home.
Don't go home.
Those are magic fingers. I mean, the fingers did light up.
Ouch. And then you can do a pleasure.
Woo. Does Dan just put like a bunch of Reese's Pieces all over his body
he
and
must.
let E.T. go to work?
That sounds kind of sexy. I don't think I would mind that.
There's one candy I love. It's Reese's Pieces, and so might have to pick myself up some tonight.
Well, so we have to discuss Reese's Pieces because it is a world divided. I know it's a world divided. I've heard several discussions. You said it the same way I did, Reese's Pieces. Other people say Reese's Pieces. They make it rhyme. Reese's Pieces or Reese's Pieces. Because it's Reese's. Pieces. They're pieces, right? But some people say Reese's Pieces.
But now the question is,
but they don't.
How is it spelled on the bag? Is this like one of those Mandela effect things?
No, it is Reeses is Reese's. Is Reese's. Maybe it's a Midwest thing because it would be pronounced.
But what does it say underneath that? How is it spelled underneath? What's the pieces part? How is that spelled?
Oh,
because if it's Peice, don't ask me to spell. If it's spelled the way pieces is spelled, then that answers the question, I think. I've heard people say Reese's Pieces. I have heard it both
Reese's Pieces, yeah, that's the other one. It is pieces like you would normally spell. Pieces.
So it's spelled not, pieces.
It's spelled correctly.
Reese's Pieces.
So, Reese's Pieces, but some people say Reese's Pieces, and
come at me, bestie. Come at me.
Come at Mindy. She is passionate about this. She is not fucking around with.
And I'm
Reese's
normally
Pieces.
Switzerland when it comes to issues. I'm in the middle. Not this one. I'm drawing that line.
This is the hot button issue that hit Mindy like a ton of bricks today.
Absolutely.
Well, Dan, I am very glad you got pleasured. And I am so happy you also shared it with us.
As odd as it may be, we'll take them all.
As odd as it may be, I'll read just another quick little one if you don't mind.
Please.
Just because
Yes.
it's another
Okay.
one. This is Chris from Tacoma. With these two, I swear to God. Sasquatch, dressed in drag, riding a motorcycle around a small rectangular room full of mob dudes. And then I woke up. I can't. Sasquatch in drag on a motorcycle.
Love it. Love it.
What do you think?
That's
what do you
a
think
spectacle.
Sasquatch would wear? A dress?
Oh, my God.
A lovely pantsuit? Maybe a jumper?
Oh, no, a pantsuit. It's a sequin pantsuit for sure.
Sequin!
I mean,
how did I not
gotta be
put
sequin.
that together? Abso-fucking-lutely. You're
yeah.
right.
Red.
You're absolutely right.
Red.
Well, that was great, Chris and Dan. Thank you.
Both really good ones. I liked
Well,
we
had to lighten it up a little bit.
All right. Well, moving along, I've got a short one from Nicole,
Okay.
and she's from Plainfield, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Jersey. Okay. In this dream, I was standing outside with my sister and child. A bunch of jets and helicopters that are very brightly colored start to fall from the sky, nose
Oh.
first.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Hey, make friends with Carson and go to the bunker, the movie theater bunker. It might save you.
It might
Go to
save
the
you,
bunker.
and you might
Get some
sweet
popcorn.
treats. Not
And
nachos.
some Reese's Pieces.
And some Reese's Pieces.
All right. She goes on to say, but about 50 feet from the ground, they all stopped and started to lift back up.
Oh,
And then I
thank
woke
God.
up.
Oh,
So weird, right?
it's so weird. Like you're just watching
This
this.
is not
happen.
what you
You're-
expect.
Well, that's what I was saying. You're expecting to see this horror show. Well, you are, but then right when you think it's going to be
Yes,
the
like-
worst.
Mm.
Like our sound effects and our visuals. No one can see it, but we.
No, our sleepover squad gets these videos, by the way.
That's
So
true.
if you are part of
Yeah.
our sleepover squad, you can always see our hilarity of our hand motions. But if you're not part of a sleepover squad, you should join just for this reason. You can see our beautiful faces
yeah.
each and every episode.
And
But
lots
know
of other
that
fun
I
stuff.
think Nicole is just sitting there. So she made it to the bunker. She's just eating the popcorn and nachos, just watching the show, and it's
Watching
just
the
like
show
goes in
happen.
reverse. Bloop, bloop, bloop. All right,
Bloop, bloop.
bloop.
We got lots of sound effects today.
We do.
should
It's a sound
Maybe
effect.
we should record in the afternoon. It's just a show
Right.
of sound effects. Woo!
All right. Do you have another catnap for us?
I do. This is Walter, and he is from Augusta.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we've ever had anyone from Augusta. Fun.
I don't know, and I don't know if it's what there's a Augusta, Maine, and Augusta, Georgia. Are there two
Georgia?
Augustas? Okay, Mr. Walter from somewhere Augusta somewhere.
Yep, that works.
I dream about an old couple. One has the left eye shut with some sort of skin over it, and the other has the right one covered. But both of them are
Ew.
using the other's eye. So for both, they have normal vision. Isn't that crazy?
So I'm like-
I'm like trying to figure it out. Like, so they share a pair. Like they each have one working eye, but for some reason they
I don't think that's how it works.
don't
think
this
you-
is a dream, Mindy.
I don't think scientifically that's good point.
But so they had together normal vision.
Okay.
The man is holding a bag on his back and he puts it on the ground and brings out my head.
No.
This I thought was interesting because it's kind of like a third person dream. Like
Yeah, because like, how are you
You're-
watching it, right?
you're watching it happen instead of you, but at the same time he's like feeling it.
Was it in a bowling bag? A bowling ball bag? Was it in a bowling ball bag?
Are you a Sopranos fan? There's lots of different.
There's been a couple movies I think that heads
Yeah.
have ended up in bowling bags.
Bowling bags, yeah, it happens. It's just something that happens. I'm sorry if you have a bowling bag.
Yeah.
You're asking.
It's the right size. It makes sense.
It's perfect, and your head fits.
You put it in
Your
a
head
suitcase,
fits.
it rolls around too much.
Too much room, unless you pack it. Lots of laundry. You want to pick dirty laundry because
Some jeans.
you don't want your clean clothes touching the severed head.
No.
That's a laundry
Never.
disaster waiting to happen.
Blood is awful to get out.
But he does say that he could feel when they put my neck on the grill, but directly on the hot red coals of the grill.
Stop messing with him.
And then I woke up screaming. Oh, yeah, rightfully so, Walter.
I'm sorry, I don't have a taste for head today, but can I get a hamburger?
Can I just get a little neck, please? I don't want the head. I just want the neck. Medium rare.
Disgusting. Gross.
He
What a
pulls
dream.
his head out of a bag and burns his neck. That's so, wow.
But it's because they're angry because they only have one eye apiece. That's probably why.
I mean, they got to take it out. I guess
If they have to
misery
suffer.
loves company. If they can't have two eyes, Walter has to have his neck burnt on a grill.
Don't invite me to that picnic, by the way.
I would not like that invitation. I will not remember that save the date.
Declined.
Decline. I'm going to say no. Thank you.
All right. Well, I got one from our bestie, Gina from Phoenix.
Oh, hi, Gina.
I need to preface this with an explanation. My body is very deeply deprived because I am sleep training my 3-year-old who has, up to this point, been in my bed. Girl.
You got it?
I feel you.
her?
Stick to your guns. This part sucks, but you're going to do it. You're going to do it,
when
Gina.
you have to just let them cry it out and stay in their room?
You have to stay there. Sorry. It is a weird thing, though, right? It's
to hear your child
if you think
crying,
about any other mammals and other animals that they sleep together in a pack or in something. Us as humans, we're like, see you later. Go in your own room.
Go in your own room.
I get it is hard. It is hard.
It is hard, but you can't make more little humans if there are little humans in your bed with you.
Good point. Yes.
Got
we need
it.
that. Yep. All right. She says, this morning, my husband entertained her while I slept in. Thank God. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was some crazy rebound REM to make up for the deficit of sleep. Okay. I wish I could remember all the details of this one because it was wild and seemed to make perfect sense at the time, as they always do.
Always.
It started off that I was visiting China with a faceless friend.
Mm-hmm.
Rando, faceless friend. There was a young Chinese woman as our guide. As a side note, she says, I wonder if she's my spirit guide. I've been really waiting to meet them. Well, maybe she was. I told her I was craving some Chinese food, but understand that the Chinese food I'm used to eating in the States was probably not very authentic.
But it's delicious.
But, ooh, give me some...
give me some straight up MSG. A favorite.
Some crab meat. As my parent calls them, the crab meat ragoons, they call them the crab meat magoos. Give me some crab meat magoos.
Instead of rangoons, they say magoos?
I don't know why.
I love crab meat magoos. Next time I'm just going to order it with a straight face.
Sounds more fun.
And see if they look at me. I'll just challenge them. Yes, I'd like a full order of crab meat magoos.
You should. Yeah.
Just stare them down. Write it on your pad. You heard what I said.
She wants her damn magoos. Okay.
I want my magoos.
So she understands that what she's used to might not be authentic. Oh, you'd be surprised, she says. The Chinese food lady. Then she took us on a run of sidewalks in suburban Beijing. But the sidewalks were broken up by something else under our feet. Densely packed orange chicken and other Panda Express-like dishes.
Damn it, Panda Express is good. Don't step on it. Eat it. Get a bowl and
Where's
start
the fork?
scooping it up.
Where's my chopsticks?
Start scooping
Can I
it
get
up.
some soy sauce? And
Oh
magoos.
my God. They had the shrimp. Sorry. Their shrimp and walnut. I am now living in a city that does not have a Panda Express. And I got, which is very sad. But I did like.
And for our bestie who might not have it, it's Americanized fast Chinese food.
Yeah, it's fast food Chinese food. Like, you can do a drive-through, you can go to a counter, but
It is good.
Delish, lo mein.
I always do
shrimp and
feel a little
walnut.
guilty after eating it. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have had that much that quickly.
Well, your stomach might regret it, but
Yes,
your brain's
my taste buds are
your pleasure
yum.
center, and your brain is like, love you.
Thank you for the orange chicken. I'd pick that. Gina says, I was grossed out that we were stepping on the food someone might later eat. But my guide reassured me that this was normal and nothing was wrong.
Okay, how often do they replace that chicken?
Right? She then took me to a large house where my friend and I had some sort of mission. It was known that there was an evil cult being run by this house. Our mission was to be undercover members of the cult in an effort to expose and dismantle it. The leader of this cult had just been kicked out for some reason, and possibly killed. Her name had been removed from the fabric banner flag that listed all the roles within the cult.
Oh,
okay, first of all, is this a Panda? It's a Panda Express cult?
I could be in that cult. I could be convinced to be in that cult.
And what cult has a flag with everyone's name on it? It would seem like it would not be good for the CIA or the FBI
right,
that came across this flag.
The head. And here's everybody else underneath. No, you're basically, and you're like, by the way,
stitch it.
On the back of the flag, just put all your secrets. That's what's on the back side of the flag.
Yep. All those people we killed.
We steal money. We killed so-and-so. The bodies are here.
Yeah. Just put it all out there.
Maybe they're just a very honest cult.
Maybe it is an honest Panda Express cult. It's probably
very transparent cult.
Very new age. The new leader, who bore a striking resemblance to Rebecca from Ted Lasso, explained they were no longer putting specific names next to roles because there was just too much turnover.
In the cult.
Oh, I just switched this flag out last week, and now I need to make a new flag?
Damn! You know what? You got to have stronger management. If you're a cult leader, you should be the cult leader. You shouldn't be usurped or being overthrown. No! Lead that cult.
Man. Too much turnover.
Lead that cult.
I quickly learned that the new leader had a good heart, but was a victim of the cult's brainwashing. Which, isn't that the point of a cult? I don't know how you get to a leadership role and be mad about the brainwashing.
You're like, that's how you got the cult together. It's the heart and soul of the cult. It's the brainwashing.
At one point, I ended up making out with her. And she goes, why am I always making out with other women in my dreams? This has led me to seriously question my sexuality. But nope, still straight.
Oh, what about an extraterrestrial, though? Are you? Does that strike your fancy at all?
I seem to be getting somewhere with my mission, and then I woke up. Yeah, if you seduce the leader, you kind of get all sexy with the leader of the cult. Yeah, you're in. You're infiltrated.
You know what? You can flip that shit. You brainwash the leader. Change it. Flip that script. You got it. You got it.
Zip down, flip it, and reverse it. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, Brooke. If you don't mind, I have one more extra to throw in today. Because this is a dream I had.
Yay! It's been so long. I'm so excited.
It's been a while, but this is an interesting one. Interesting for sure. Short. It's not too long. It's just kind of short, but
I love it.
Weird.
Okay, let's do it.
Of course.
Okay. If you ever had a normal, sane dream, I'd be like, "Are you okay?"
Nah.
I am checking you into the hospital.
If I am kidnapped ever and I text you, I had a dream and I was sitting on a beach.
I'd be like, "We gotta go."
Be like,
Mindy, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with Mindy. It's not true.
She sent me a text. It told me everything. It would. If you ever sent me a text, it'd be like code. I would totally get that's not Mindy.
Yep. I had the most boring dream last night. Nope. Okay. So this dream I had last week, and I actually had to call and tell my parents it because it just made me laugh. And
good. It's a
part
good,
of it,
funny one. All right.
Yep. Okay. I will do a little trigger warning here for animal
Damn it, Mindy.
cruelty issues, but it's short and it's okay. But just in case it bothers you, just go ahead and skip it.
Can I skip it?
Nope. So that's how much I respect your boundaries. I'm like, nope, you can't.
Nope. You didn't think about that for even a second.
So this dream starts, and I'm in my home I grew up in. Brooke, you're familiar with it. It's this big 2-story yellow farmhouse. It's about 100 years old. And my parents have not lived there, in at least...
long time.
Maybe 15 years. It's been a while. So it's been a while since I've been there. It's been a while since I went back. But I'm standing outside the house on the front sidewalk. And it's me and my daughters, and we're all dancing. It just starts off like... There's no music. We're just twirling and dancing. Like, there's just happiness and joy.
Sure.
It was a lovely start. And I was like, okay, just enjoying this time, dancing with my kids.
I don't like how you said it was a lovely start. That upsets me a little bit.
Right. I look across the street, and a neighbor that was a neighbor when I grew up at this house was outside her home with her daughter. And her daughter's older. Her daughter's probably 30. The woman who lives there is probably 60. Her name was Charlotte. Now, she's passed since then. So
but this is a real person.
No longer alive. This is a real person. She's a real person in my dream, no rando. But she has since passed. So Charlotte's outside her house with her daughter, and I look over, and we kind of start talking. And so I walk over across the street, let my kids stay there on the sidewalk. I walk over to them, and they start talking about this fire they had in their basement. And I was like, well, that's... awful. And then it kind of clicked. I was like, wait a minute. Weren't you dog sitting our dog? And wasn't he in the basement? And they just start like, oh, yeah, I don't know. They found some charred remains of a dog. And I go, what?
I hate this dream. I hate it.
So my poor beloved Kingston in my dream has now been murdered.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even a random pet. It was your Kingston.
It was our Kingston. It was our dog. But I'm across the street because I don't want the kids to hear anything what's going on with this conversation because I don't want the kids to know.
I just took a nap with Kingston.
You did just take a nap with Kingston when you came to my house. He's a cuddle bug.
He is. I hate this dream.
But I knew something was fishy about their story.
Okay.
So I look at them. I'm like, Kingston's a smart dog. He would have gotten out if there was a fire. Like, something here is not adding up to me. Like, he would have run. He's a smart dog. Would have got out. I'm like, they're lying. They're lying. They didn't kill my dog.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to kill them.
So I go up.
Sorry, that's how mad I am.
Brooke's like, stop. Kingston's my buddy.
Sorry, let me calm down a minute. I'm getting too worked up.
So in my dream, I believe that he wasn't there. I think it was all a lie. So
okay.
Don't worry. I'm sure Kingston was fine.
Thank you.
So I go into our garage, and growing up, our garage was a detached garage. It was heated, though.
Separate.
So it's like a 20 by 20, like 2.5 car garage. It was a big place. And so I walk in there, and this is where my dad spent a lot of time when I was growing up. And he was in the garage. The garage door is open. I see my sister, Shannon, and her husband get out of a car in the alley. So the garage backs up to an alley. They pull up to the garage door. They get out, and they run in and give my dad a big hug. And they're all dressed up in, like, nice clothes. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on here or why they're here. My mom's also there. And so I start asking them about the neighbors. Did you see a fire over at Charlotte's house? Did you see a fire over there? And they're like, no, we didn't. We would have seen fire trucks. We would have seen a fire. Like,
it's a small neighborhood. It's a small street. Yeah, you would notice.
Yes, you would have noticed. You're like right across the street. So that made me feel better about Kingston. But then I look and see my dad has a bunch of German Shepherd puppies. And I don't know if he was like breeding them, but there was like 5 or 6 German Shepherd puppies. And I'm just like down there and petting them. They're just like loving on me. It was like the best. It was lovely.
It's like, who doesn't want a puppy party? I mean, can I hold 17 puppies in my
all
arms?
At once?
Yes, please.
All at once?
Please.
So this is the lovely part of the dream. Like, so it's kind of like normal, but then it goes not normal. Then it kind of goes normal again. But then the next thing I know, I'm outside the garage and I'm standing in our yard, and it's a decent sized yard, and I see my mom in a car. But now let me explain this car. It's not a normal car. It's like it's like a convertible. So
Okay.
it has no roof. It's like a light blue color. She's standing at the driver's side. So it's a car where the driver stands up. So it looks like a normal car, but the driver
But it's
stands.
like a Segway? Like the driver's like on a Segway?
So in front of where she's standing, there's this big crest on the front of the car, and it says GC. And it stands for Chevy Grove, which I guess was the car. It was called a Chevy Grove. Very specific, very random.
I don't
think it's not a real car.
Oh,
No.
I was going to say, is that something you remember? It's a Chevy Grove?
No. This does not exist. But it was like an emblem. It was like a shield. It was red and blue, and it had a big CG. And so my mom's just standing up. No one else is in the car. She's driving around our yard in her Chevy Grove. But it's not just a car.
She's driving around our yard in her Chevy Grove. That's a great sentence.
But it's not the Chevy Grove. You got to get yourself one.
Get yourself one.
So there's it's not only a car, but also cuts grass. So I see that where she's went in the yard has like a path of grass cut the size of a car. And I was like, well, this is a really cool car. It cuts grass.
I hated
You can
the
stand
stream.
up in
Now I
it.
love this stream.
So I was like, well, that's interesting. So she goes up to the alley and she stops. I'm like, Mom, do you want me to finish cutting the grass for you? Because this is something we had to do as
She's
chores.
like, no, you
when we
just
were
want to drive
teenagers.
my stand-up car.
But Mom, I promise I'll be good with it.
Please, I'll put my Discman on.
That is exactly how I cut the grass as a teenager.
That's how I cut
On my
the grass,
Discman,
too.
I had to cut the
Discman.
grass. Do kids
That's
still
when
know
back
how
in
to
the
cut
day.
grass?
No, I don't know if they cut grass. I don't think they listen to a whole album either. Like they'll buy
No,
like
your yard
they'll
was big. My yard was a decent size.
You have to listen to the whole album. They don't do
Right.
that anymore. It's not a thing.
No. So my mom was like, "No, I'm good. It's fine. Your dad needs
She's
you." So I
having a
go
good
back
time.
in to talk to my dad. Yeah. And my dad tells me I have to install the smoke detectors. I was like,
boy.
okay. So he hands me a bunch of smoke detectors, and it's like I know somehow I'm supposed to install them in the sky. Like, I don't know how, but I'm just supposed to like pop them up, and they're magically supposed to stay in the backyard in case there's a fire in the backyard, I guess. Or the world's on fire. I'm not sure which.
How many does your backyard require?
I had a handful.
Jeez, that's a lot.
But I did realize, I'm like, well, I'm going to start with the swing set because that seems like the best place to actually get one to stick. So I screw the smoke detector into the top of the swing set.
I can't with this.
So my niece, Alexis,
Wait, she's an adult.
while she's swinging on it, she's an adult. She's 28, I think now. She's just swinging on the swing. She's expecting her first baby too. She's swinging on the swing, and I'm installing the smoke. I don't know how I'm not going to hit, but I'm installing.
How is this
I'm installing the
happening?
smoke detector above where she's swinging, and then I had to complete my mission by hanging the rest of
Your
them
mission?
in the sky. But then I woke up and I don't remember how I did that.
Oh, well, I know you would have been successful because you're a tenacious type of gal.
So my dad just trusted me with this. Maybe it was to be safe with the fire issues with the neighbors since they started fires. I
And
guess.
also
I don't
to
know.
teach you how to install a fire detector or a smoke alarm.
My dad would be that type of person, and
Yes.
I want to know where to get the Chevy Grove
Well, let's design
lawnmower stand-up car.
let's design
Chevy.
it and post a picture because I want to know what you see it as and what I interpret it as.
I will draw a picture and I will post it on our sleepover squad.
Okay,
So
please.
if you want to see it, join the sleepover squad.
Chevy Grove, my next car.
So the next morning I woke up and I actually Googled to see if the Chevy Grove ever existed or what it is. Doesn't exist.
It
Just in my dream world.
sounds like it could be a real car. Or
It does.
lawnmower.
Lawnmower?
I'm not sure.
A stand-up
I don't know
car
how-
sounds fun.
I don't know how it's advertised or how
It's like
it
a
is
stand-up
being
roller
sold.
coaster.
Those are
Also good.
amazing.
Also different.
Oh, whole new experience. Well, Mindy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And we've already talked about it a little bit. We've talked about how much access you get with our sleepover squad. You get our beautiful videos, extras, and fun stuff. And it's just a really great way to support the show. And all you have to do is go to remelations.com/support. There's many different levels you can support us. And we appreciate and love you. Mwah.
Thanks, bestie. All right, Brooke, last week, or I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago, I was talking about the evolution of beds, but I couldn't fit it all into one episode. So today I am talking about a very specific type of bed that you and I both had in the 80s. We're talking about the waterbed.
Oh, yes, I am so ready for this conversation. Do you think, let's just say the bat, before you even get started, do you think you would still like a waterbed? Do you think as an adult person, it is supportive enough or I haven't been on a waterbed since I was a kid.
Since 1989.
Right? No, maybe. That could be very accurate. But I wonder what it's like to be, like, I don't know. What do you think?
I liked the warmth of it. I thought it was a comfortable bed, but after a while, it was... I couldn't imagine sleeping it with a partner, where if someone else moved, that you would...
Sex?
Be really
how do you have sex?
sleeps.
I mean, people talk about sex on a waterbed, but
don't you worry. I'm getting into that today.
Okay. Let's get started. As you usually say.
All right. So, wait. So, if our bestie doesn't know, maybe you were born after the heyday of waterbeds, which is okay. A waterbed is a bed that's the mattress is filled with water. It literally is what it sounds like.
It's like a plastic bag full of water.
Yep.
Inside a bed frame.
Yep. They were popular because if you think about it, it just displaces the weight of your body over water, because water will always level out, and so it's not like if you have like a bad hip
it will form,
and you turn one way,
form to you.
It'll fit to you exactly. And we talked about this in the last episode. I was talking about beds, but the first waterbed was believed to be made 3,000 years ago in Persia. It was a goat skin that was filled with water. It was used for the elderly.
They knew what to do.
And probably some royalty. But, they had it going on. They're like, goat skin. I've got an idea.
And they're like, and water? Yeah. We know that the healing properties of that shit.
So the next time waterbeds came up was in 1833. There was actually a Scottish...
That's a long time!
So there was a Scottish physician, Neil Arnott, who invented what they called a hydrostatic bed to prevent bed sores.
Oh.
So it was a bath of water covered with rubber, and it had a canvas on top and some light bedding. But the reason it was kind of invented in the 1800s was to help people who had bed sores, the elderly, who, again,
right,
you have to be careful of medical reasons why you can't stay and rub certain parts of your body on. It's just more caressing of your body.
Yeah, it's more gentle.
It's more gentle. It's like a gentle bed mattress. Now, he did not patent it back in 1833.
God damn it. He would have been a millionaire, I tell you. He would have been a millionaire.
A millionaire. It is part of modern literature. So in 1855, a novel called North and South, where a character, an ailing Miss Hale, was mentioned to use a waterbed. So that was kind of the first time it was used in literature in 1855. It was also mentioned by Mark Twain in 1871 while he was describing a home for invalids.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, in the times
sticking around
the Civil War, waterbeds were obviously being used for medicinal purpose. Well, not medicinal, but for medical reasons. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So in 1883, a man by the name of Dr. William Hooper of England, he patented the first version of the waterbed. He actually sold it in Harrods department stores. And as well as a direct mailer in 1895.
That's still a big deal today, Harrods.
Mm-hmm. However, all the above mentioned never really gained wide acceptance. Most notably because the inefficient method of holding water. First of all, if you have a waterbed, you gotta keep the water in it.
That's number
first
one.
And foremost. And also regulating the temperature of the water. Because if you're laying on if your body's 98.6 degrees and the water's at room temperature at, say, 65, that's gonna feel a little chilly on your bum bum.
On your bum bum. My bum is on the waterbed. My bum is on the waterbed.
My bum is on the waterbed. Look at me. My bum is on the waterbed.
No.
Hashtag.
What does Tom Green dream?
Yes. Now, if you don't know the Bum Bum song, we're going to have to post
We have to
link
post
in the
the Bum
show
Bum
notes.
song. Out of control.
So if you don't know
But
who Tom
we'll play
Green
the
is,
Bum
he was a
Bum song.
comedian in the early, mid-90s that had a TV show. It was Canadian.
Yes, and it was just bizarre. He's just a bizarre fella, but it was our sense of humor.
Funny songs.
It was our generation's
put-
humor. Funny songs. He'd talk to guests.
Skits.
He would do pranks.
Yeah.
He would do silly stuff. But
Okay, well, going back to our cold bum on the water mattress.
I was also going to say they weigh like a metric ton as well,
Yes.
waterbeds.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could have it on a weak addict floor, living up there. It's like you needed some support for one of these fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Think of like a human-sized fish tank, as Mindy would well aware. They're heavy. These things are
Yes,
heavy.
and I'm going to get into how much they weigh. It's so funny. It's like
Ahead of
you
myself.
know, like what I'm already looking up. Yeah, it's good. So there's a science fiction writer named Robert Heinlein. He described waterbeds in his novels that kind of were written between the era of 1942 and 1961. In his literature and his novels, he would talk about this new age space bed that had water, that had a heater. Kind of went into detail about what it was.
He talked about it.
He
Okay.
obviously had an idea, but he
did.
never actually made the bed. He just wrote about it in his
damn
stories.
it.
Now comes along Mr. Charles Pryor Hall. He read some of
Mr.
these
Pryor
novels
Hall.
written by Mr. Robert and thought this idea was wonderful, although it didn't quite sink in yet to start something. It wasn't until 1968 when he was a design student at San Francisco State University where he was assigned a project. Make an innovation. You had to come up with something. It was a project. You had to make a new invention.
Excited.
So Charles first decided to make an innovative chair. His first prototype was a vinyl bag that was filled with 300 pounds of liquid cornstarch because he thought it would be
It's
comfortable.
It'd be like a beanbag chair almost, like a water beanbag chair.
A water chair, no, it doesn't sound like it was a great idea.
No,
And
but
it wasn't.
are beanbag chairs? I mean, they are. I think a water chair could exist today. Just saying. Reach out to me if you'd like to develop this idea together.
But Mr. Hall said it was too uncomfortable. The next prototype he did, he filled it with jello. Jello! Bringing it all back around. I bet it was lime.
I think it was
But
cherry.
unfortunately, the consistency and temperature began to decompose the bag, and it's jello.
How
It's gonna
could you
it's gonna-
keep
not gonna
jello
smell so
going
great.
for like a long time?
No.
I mean, it is
It's
jello,
not-
but like it's not sustainable.
Charles, just
Thanks for trying.
lay off the alcohol for a weekend at college, and let's really concentrate. And I think that's what he did. So all of a sudden, he finally decided to make it a bed and use a vinyl bag. Now,
Okay, good.
not only did he get his project done, but this became a hit with all the college kids. They actually started calling it the Pleasure Pit.
Oh, okay. Maybe waterbed is good for sex.
So when they were, hanging out at the, I'm just speculating here, saying
At the
they're,
Pleasure
having
Pit?
a party at the Pleasure Pit. Charles like, hey,
Come to the pleasure pit.
hey, Susan, would you like to see my bed of pleasure pit bed? I made it for a project. Oh, actually, he probably was like, do you want to see my project? And then she gets there
Yeah,
and she's
that
like,
would be.
"It's a
Otherwise, it'd
bed."
be like
It's a
super
bed.
creepy. Would you go into a room with someone that said, "Hey, you want to come see my pleasure pit?" Or
No.
would you go into a room with someone who says, hey, do you want to see my really cool science project?
I'm going with guy number 2, but either way.
But it's the
a bet.
same guy. It's just the delivery.
It is the same guy.
That's what you have to learn,
worked out for
serial
Charles, I
killers.
guess.
It's all about the delivery.
So he makes this bet. It became very popular, and he decided to patent it. So
Good
in
for
1971, this prototype was patented with patent number 3,585,356 is the patent number,
It's
in case you wanted to look it up.
Pie.
But it was at the time called a liquid support for human bodies.
That's not the best
although the
marketing.
pleasure pit was kind of like the fun name around campus. Hey babe, do you want to come over to my liquid support for human bodies?
It doesn't have the same. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Doesn't roll
the
off
same way.
does not the same way. Not the same way.
No, I like pleasure pit.
So actually, he had to apply for this patent twice because the first time it was a little too vague. He added another patent for a coil warmer. So this guy had it down. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's
he
like,
knew
this,
what he was doing.
I've got something special here. But, like anything else, it's built on the shoulders of other people who came before him who may not have
Sure.
patented. And he's like, hey, half the work's done. I'm gonna build myself a waterbed.
Pick
and
up
patent
where
it."
they left off and take credit.
Mr. Hall then founded a company called Inner Space Environments. It was a manufacturing and sales company, but it also had retail stores. They had about 30 where they sold waterbeds.
Ooh,
Okay, it's becoming more and more popular.
We're getting
Now-
there.
Mr. Hall's patent came into trial in 1991. So just fast forwarding a little bit here for a second. In the Intex versus Hall trial, his patent was held up in court
Okay.
because they pretty much ripped off the idea of a waterbed. And Mr. Hall received $4.8 million for infringement on his patent.
Well, he did patent it, but it was, like you said, off the shoulders of others.
He did. He did do the work, though. Someone's got to patent it.
He got it right, is the thing. He got it right. Others tried and failed, but he's the one that
Yes.
got it right.
About the time that you and I had our first waterbeds, and I'd say about 1987, waterbeds peaked at 22% of the domestic mattress industry. So 1 in
Holy
5 beds
shit!
in America was a waterbed.
What's a waterbed? That's amazing.
It was marketed for undisturbed sleep, which if anyone slept in a waterbed, it's not undisturbed sleep, which is a lie. It was also perfect timing because it was kind of the height of sexual advertisement. So let's think back to the mid-'80s here, where bikinis, cigarettes,
Everyone was
Michelob,
on coke, so they were horny. and
you want to be sexy advertising. So it kind of came into a time where it was made really popular because they took the stance of it's a sexy bed. You're going to have a great time in this sexy bed.
You're going to be rocking and a rolling on that thing.
And it's a product that kind of embodied the sexual liberation of that time.
Yes. And now it's making me think that maybe I want to try a waterbed again just to see what it's like.
It was considered a sexy bed. And so actually in some of the advertising some of these companies used, here I'll give you an example ad. She'll admire your car, she'll respect you for your position, but she'll love you for your waterbed.
Hot.
I bet E.T. has a waterbed.
And how sexist is that ad, by the way?
Oh, yes. Let's gloss over that whole idea that yes.
Let's gloss. We don't have time for that on this podcast. That's for a different podcast.
No.
We'll recognize it, but we don't have
agreed,
time
yes.
to dive into it.
Agreed. But so from hippies to bachelors, the target audience for this bed, especially bachelors.
Of course.
It promised to give the motion of the ocean, Brooke, in another ad.
Motion of the ocean. See, that's why I want to give it a try again.
And our friend Mr. Hall decided to even make a bed and market it as Pleasure Island.
Oh,
This bed,
Mr. Hall, I do
in
declare.
1987. In 1987, you want to take a guess? 1987 money. How much does this bed cost?
Shit. A lot.
Pleasure Island, just Wait. Let me start. Let me give you a couple ideas of what came with it. It had complete with contour pillows,
nice
color television, directional lighting, and a bar.
In a bed?
Going to Pleasure Island. Yes.
I'd pay lots of money for Pleasure Island, but what year was this?
I'd say 1987.
I would pay 20 grand for Pleasure Island, but I feel like in 87 it was probably
take that inflation into account.
$3,000.
You you are very close, ma'am. It is $2,800 for the Pleasure Island.
Do I win a free waterbed?
You win a free Pleasure Island. Brooke,
do you want to come have a sleepover?
I would love nothing more to do that with you, because it would honestly be like the best sleepover girls' night bed ever. Bar, TV, snuggle time with my bestie. I'm going to send you a picture real quick.
Yeah, let's see if this island actually still exists anywhere and we need to procure one.
Now, I'm going to send you a picture right now. I want you to explain to our bestie what this magnificent bed looks like. And while you do that, I'm going to let everyone know, $2,800 in 1987, what that converts to today is about $15,000, $15,570 of today's money. So can you imagine spending 15 grand on a bed?
I can imagine
got a bar and TV.
Like Wall Street, Tribeca, Coke Jags probably spent a bunch of money on waterbeds back in the day.
Babe, you want to see my Pleasure Island? So, did you get my text?
Pleasure Island. There it is. Oh my God!
Right, so you want to explain to our besties what this thing looks like? And we'll post a picture on our Facebook group. Check it out if you haven't yet. There's a link in the show notes, or go to Facebook and search for Revelations Besties. We'll post a picture.
I'm going to do my best here. Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It's huge. Okay. It's a whole...
You need a big room.
You need a big room. It's all... It looks like the bed itself is maybe a king, maybe a queen. Probably a king. King size, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the waterbed part. And it sits in its frame. But around the waterbed is a whole nother frame. So this is even bigger than a king size bed. That I'm not sure what exactly is on these sides. It looks like a lot of magazines.
It looks like kind of like Sherpa covered.
Yeah, it is
it's all
very
white.
Fleece. It's like a fleece covered top to bottom frame around a frame, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it looks like there is some kind of old school speaker sound system built into the foot of the bed, as well as a tiny TV with antennas towards the back of the bed.
Yeah, we're talking like a 12-inch TV. I mean, that was high tech. Watch out.
If it does look color, but then there are some wackadoo lighting fixtures, which I'm not upset about, but it is a huge bed because it's basically a waterbed with an additional probably 2 feet on each side of that covered in fleece.
I'm sold. I've got 15 grand to waste, so I'm gonna see if I can get myself a pleasure pit
island? Pleasure pit?
A Pleasure Island on Etsy. I'm gonna see what I can do here.
You'll get one. I know you'll get one. I feel like it's gonna happen.
As wonderful and as extravagant as that bed looks, there was some disadvantages to having a waterbed, and I'll touch on those real quick.
Okay.
First of all, it can be over 2,000 pounds when it gets filled with water. So,
like I said,
not only is it super heavy, but it takes a lot of water to fill up, and yet water bill, it's gonna be expensive. So take that 15 grand and add like another. Take that 2,800 and add another grand just for the water it takes to put in that damn thing.
And then it takes like 4 days to heat up to an appropriate temperature to be able to sleep on.
Yes, and that also takes energy. They on average would say it would cost between $36 and $180 a year just for the heat of that waterbed to keep it at a temperature. I mean, you think about it. It's running all day long to keep your bed at a certain temperature. So,
see, Mindy, I feel like this is like a dream for you because your problem with baths is they lose their heat. I feel like if you had a waterbed,
well, I'd probably be fine. I would like it for that reason.
I feel like I would be fine too. We need to find a waterbed and really explore this again. I feel like.
Yeah, if it's that big and it has that much water, it's prone to leaks. If you ever seen Edward Scissorhands, there's a great scene in it with a waterbed.
He pokes the holes in it.
Where he accidentally pokes a hole in the waterbed because he was curious.
And nervous.
There's my boy. And nervous.
There's your boy, JD. JD.
It's also very hard to move. And if you want to move it, you have to drain all the water out. So it's not like you can rearrange your room really easily.
Nope. It's a commitment. It is a commitment. You had to put chemicals in it like you do a pool. Like, there's lots of upkeep. Too much work.
But because it was so heavy, there was actually some landlords that wouldn't allow tenants to have it on higher floors because they weren't
Makes sense.
reinforced enough to hold a waterbed. There's been stories of waterbeds breaking through floors. They could leak and ruin your carpet in your room. As well as it was very dangerous for children. If you had a small child that would lay in bed with you, suffocation was actually tied to quite a bit of infant deaths with waterbeds. And so it was very dangerous as well.
Yeah. It's not a safe place for someone that cannot physically get themselves out of a situation. Oh, yeah, that'd be bad too, right? This is not safe for babies or drunk people, which is the whole world. No. It's one or the other. The only bed this is safe for is sober
babies
people.
But no, the question is do they still exist? Are they still popular?
Yes.
Well, at the height in 1987, 22% of Americans had a waterbed. Right now, it's down to about 3%, but people still do have them.
I'm surprised it's as high as 3%, but okay, let's hear it.
Yeah. And actually, Mr. Hall, the guy who did the original patent, still owns a waterbed company. And if you want to check it out, it's called afloatsleep.com. They sell waterbeds still to this day. Okay. They're luxury waterbeds, they call them. And it's not the same. It's not the pleasure pit. It's not Pleasure Island. It's different. So it actually looks more like a mattress these days where it has a water layer. So it's more form. Like there's no sides on it like there was back in the 80s.
Yeah, got it. That makes sense. I mean, just adapt and move forward.
And these days, they say they have a wave suppression system. So when one person moves, the other person doesn't get woken up. And in case you're wondering, Brooke, in case you want one, they start at about $1,300 and can go up to $2,700.
I don't have that kind of money, Mindy. But if you would love to donate one, I would be so happy to give it a test run. And you know that I am all about hydrotherapy, so I would probably have great things to say about this bed and this new technology that you've advanced, Mr. Hall.
Bestie, are you trying to get a sponsorship from Afloat? That's what we should do. We should reach out to Mr. Hall at afloatsleep.com and see if they would like to sponsor the show. I think that would be awesome.
And thank you.
But besties, if you have any good waterbed stories, we want to hear about them. And one of the ways you can share them is by joining our Facebook group. The link is in the show notes, or you can look for Remelations Besties. What's your best waterbed story? Did you have one? Did your parents have one? Did you ever sleep in one? What are your thoughts? We want to know.
Yes.
Join us in our group and tell us about it. That waterbed sounds amazing and warm and cozy and terrifying and pleasurable all at the same time.
Lots of things. Lots of feeling. All the feels.
All the feels. Bestie, we need you to do us one favor, and that's to tell your best friend about the show. Just tell one person. Again, that's how we grow. You can tell your favorite friend that had a waterbed that you slept in. You can tell your best friend that loves orange chicken from Panda Express. We all have one of those friends. Or Chinese food. Who are you getting Chinese food with? Tell that friend. And tell your favorite extraterrestrial sexual partner about the show.
Ooh la la.
That's how we grow. That's how we're coming back next week, by you guys just telling one friend. So we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much for sharing our show.
Yes, and thank you also once again for Prachi and all our catnap submissions. We had a wild ride today. We always have fun on the show. So thank you. Thank you for submitting. Keep them coming.
All right. Hey, it's time to crank up the heat in the waterbed. Tuck in.
Ow!
Turn on that sexy 70s, 80s music. You know, get it going.
All
Some
right.
Marvin Gaye. Get it on. Until next
Loving
week,
it.
bestie.
Sweet
dreams, bitches.
Sexy time. Now I really want to try waterbed again.
Oh.